budget, the finance minister says it's an incunim budget with all the details as it's spelled out in there. Does this inspire hope for you, the minority, from what you say?
Incunim means victory. And obviously he will celebrate because they have successfully looted the economy. And looted the economy and looted the people of Ghana successfully, without the people of Ghana making noise or realizing that this is what they have done. This is a government that within 7 years, they have made the ordinary Ghanaian poorer. They have succeeded in destroying the public sector, eroded all the governance gains we have made since 1992, to the extent that they have destroyed the economy completely. Every single SOE is on its nails. Why wouldn't he say that they have successfully messed the people of Ghana up? They came to destroy us. So it's victory for them. I'm not surprised. Incunim means victory in destruction.
Oh, this is the finance minister talking about Ghana set to cross the 1 trillion cedis GDP mark for the first time.
Okay, so whatever nominal GDP they inherited, all what you need to do is to use the inflation deflator to discount it, and you will see what exactly they have done. My brother, when this government took office, find out the GDP per capita. What this simple means is that you divide the nominal GDP with the population rate, the population, the actual population, and then express it in the US dollar. Then you will know what we call the GDP per capita. When they took office, and today, you notice that the average Ghanaian is worse off. In fact, when they took office, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, clearly, Ghana's economy, both per capita GDP and nominal, was miles ahead of Cote d'Ivoire. Today, Ghana is at risk that by the end of this year, Cote d'Ivoire will overtake Ghana as the second largest economy in West Africa. That is coming. In fact, when they took office, the ordinary Ghanaian was far better off than the ordinary Ivorian. Go and check the numbers again. In the coming days, I'll publish the numbers. The ordinary Ivorian has not only catch up to the ordinary Ghanaian, but is threatening to overtake the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the legacy of this administration.
There's reference always made about what was happening in 2017, 2018, and 2019 prior to COVID, and that the numbers that you keep talking about were a reflection of a growing, improved, strong economy until 2020 when COVID hit, and that is what is resulting in now.
I made reference of Ivory Coast. COVID never affected Ivory Coast, isn't it? Our neighbor, COVID never affected them. Is that what they are trying to say? COVID never affected Togo. Do you know that in Africa today, there's something we call misery index, ahochere. There is a lot more ahochere in Ghana than even Niger. There's a lot more ahochere in Ghana more than Somalia.
Based on the misery index?
Based on the misery index. And so that statement that they always make, that for some interesting reason, COVID never affected any other country in West Africa or in Africa, and it only affected Ghana. It's shameful. It is really shameful. Look, we are where we are because of what the Catholic Bishop Conference aptly described: massive and uncontrolled corruption, looting at a large scale, wholesale looting, not at the retail level, wholesale looting.
If you talk about massive corruption, exactly what do you mean? Where exactly is this corruption?
The kind of corruption Ghana is seeing today has never been witnessed in our lifetime. Has never been witnessed in a lifetime. I said it's wholesale. And you know what wholesale is? You don't take it in small quantities, large quantities. In fact, wholesale may be an understatement. It's at the manufacturing levels. That is where they've taken corruption to. The governance has been eroded completely. It is not only failing, but they've destroyed it. Today, all the SOEs are on their knees. You know that. Cocoa economy has been collapsed. Now we don't have cocoa economy. Not long ago, The difference between the production, the amount of cocoa we produce in a year, first and second, and the third was miles. If care is not taken by the end of this year, this cocoa season, Ecuador will end up becoming the second largest cocoa producer in the world, and Ghana will go to third. We are getting close.
Now, one of the major concerns of the business community was the impact of taxes on the cost of doing business, which has really increased over time. Does the details of this budget and the reliefs that were announced specifically address those concerns that the business community had going into the fiscal year 2024?
It's going to make it worse, unfortunately.
This budget?
Yes, it's going to make it worse. Have you paid attention to the details in the budget? The minister thought he's so smart that he doesn't want public attention to be on the taxes he has introduced from day one. But we have the eyes to decode it. He has introduced new taxes worth 11 billion Ghana cedis. Simple put, he's taken 11 billion from your pocket, from his pocket, and the pocket of your producers and businesses, including your company. That is what they have done. That is what they have done. Introduction of new taxes worth 11 billion. One, in the statement, look at paragraph page 18 of his statement. He wrote English language and then added those taxes that they want to introduce. One, he's going to introduce vehicle emission tax. It's a luxury vehicle tax with a new name. With a new name. To create impression that they are using it, they are collecting it from vehicles that are producing higher emission. Aside that, they are also introducing other tax handles, like the tax stamp. Tax stamp. If you buy a land and you want to register, you have to go and pay tax stamp. Stamp duty. They are increasing it. He failed to give us the rate. The devil is in the detail, but he can't run. The things will come to Parliament. Or the number of taxes he has introduced worth 11 billion Ghana cedis. But let me tell you something. The NDC minority will certainly not support
these tax
measures that intend to destroy livelihoods and businesses. We say this because this government doesn't need new taxes. You know why?
Tell me.
Already, they have presented to Parliament 47 different memorandums covering tax exemptions worth 5.5 billion, equivalent of $449 million. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. These tax exemptions they are asking Parliament to approve are for companies. They claim they are going to use these tax exemptions to clear some of the goods at the port for the purposes of constructing new factories. When we went in and investigated it, you know what we saw? About 80% of these so-called companies who have imported items and they are going to use it for this, factories. The factories, they've already cleared the things and the factories have already been completed and they are in production.
The exemptions they were giving to, or they brought to Parliament
the exemptions before Parliament now.
For the companies to clear items at the ports.
Yes.
That has been done already.
47 companies.
They've already cleared the goods at the ports.
So why are they requiring those tax exemptions? They know what they are using it for.
Did the minority raise questions about this?
Yes. You see, the reason why we have kept these tax exemptions in abeyance is that we fought over it at the Finance Committee. So they are so scared to bring it to the floor. Our position is simple. We will not sit and have a conversation on these taxes until they come and withdraw all these tax exemptions from Parliament.
All those tax exemptions for these 47 companies.
Let me put it in another perspective. Can you imagine that as we speak, Ghana as a country is waiting on the IMF to go to their board and to grant us a loan of $600 million. But right before Parliament, they are asking Parliament to approve a loan, to approve tax exemption worth $449 million. Can you imagine? Do we really need that kind? The money is here. The money is here. You see, this is a government that has lost the way. They have clueless, empty. They don't have the requisite skills to deal with the economic challenges that we are facing. And our vice president, He has shown that he can't do anything. Today, for the first time, you didn't see him in the budget statement reading. You didn't see him. But he can't run away from it.
You were asking
you
where he was.
cannot run away from it. Because the finance minister did not destroy our economy alone. He did it with the vice president and the governor of the central bank. The three of them are the faces of destruction. They have destroyed our livelihood. They have messed us up and destroyed the people of Ghana completely. Please, if you get him, put it to him that he has run away from parliament, obviously because he wants to distance himself from the finance minister. But you see, the chairman of the economic management team supervises the finance minister directly. The budget and all policies of the finance minister are approved by the the vice president, chairing economic management team. He has been a disaster.
Even with government meeting all the 6 quantitative performance criteria that the IMF set for at least for the first tranche, you still think that there hasn't been any significant improvement?
Oh, there hasn't been improvement
in the macroeconomic indicators.
No.
In fact, the IMF itself stated that.
So we have moved from worse to bad, and both are not good.
That was not the IMF's own.
No, that's what IMF said. It's improving. It's worse from worse to bad. That's all what we have done. We've moved from worse to bad. And if care is not taken, and the path they are on will go back to worse. That's what it is.
These measures will not
Go back and
improve
read
on the state of affairs of this economy?
Will this government stop corruption?
They haven't shown the commitment to do so?
Where in the budget have you seen that they are stopping corruption?
How much of an impact will this have? And I'm talking about specifically the extension of the zero rate of VAT on the locally manufactured African prints, and then also the zero-rated VAT on locally assembled vehicles for 2 more years, and then a number of others that talks about the waivers.
It is not new. It exists already. It's already policies that exist. And so telling us that he's extending it, he's only continuing with the policy. It's not new relief. The only thing that I can say is new has to do with the removal of taxes on locally manufactured sanitary pads. Yes. But that one, you can't give credit to this government.
Why don't you want to give credit to them?
You can't give it to them because the Honorable Sosu, the MP for Medina, is the one who has championed this from the beginning with the Speaker of Parliament. And the Speaker of Parliament publicly, go back to parliamentary records and Hansard, had said that as for him, as long as he remains the Speaker this year, we'll remove that tax. The government, sensing embarrassment after Honorable Sosu has drafted a private member's bill and knowing very well that it will go through, decided to announce it in their budget. But let me tell you, we will end up passing Sosu's one ahead of the government preparing their own tax to remove this menstrual.
But beyond the advocacy, there was a decision that had to be taken. Government has heeded to that call.
7 years.
And remove that tax.
I'm telling you, they are sensing embarrassment.
Is that not worth commending them for?
How could you commend? I can only say that, yes, you've done well for saving your face because you'll be embarrassed so bad. And so maybe it is, in fact, we've messed up so badly that if we don't do this for the people of Ghana, Ghanaians will not take us serious. So let us do this. But the question is how much? After imposing 11 billion Ghana cedis of new taxes, how much tax reliefs are they giving to the ordinary Ghanaian? New tax reliefs. Let them quantify it. I've quantified the new taxes, and I've said that it's 11 billion. Let them quantify the reliefs that they are giving to Ghanaians.
Now, you made reference to the second tranche of the 600 million coming in. Yeah. The 30 to 40% haircut that the finance minister is offering, we understand, is meeting some resistance.
I don't expect the Eurobond holders in particular to accept the terms in its form and shape as presented by the finance minister.
You don't expect them to accept it?
No. But the form and shape is certainly not acceptable. Why do you give somebody a haircut? If somebody has invested, let's say, $100 million in your economy, that person is going to get a haircut of $40 million. And only $60 million will be paid back to the person. Not even today, but the next 20 years. Who will accept that? Nobody will accept that. But let me tell you, this foreign debt restructuring, Eurobond debt restructuring, has a negative impact again on our financial sector. People are not paying attention to that. EcoBank has huge amount of money invested in government Eurobonds. Not only them, a number of local banks, all of them are going to get 60%, 40% of those amount that they have invested in government bonds shave off. What a crude haircut that will be. And that money does not belong to EcoBank, it belongs to you. It belongs to the ordinary Ghanaian. It belongs to Ghanaian businesses. So do you want to collapse those companies? So certainly they won't accept it. I'm not surprised the banks are not responding, because they will not respond. Because clearly it doesn't make sense. You are not giving them nominal haircut or notional haircut. You are extending the tenor for 20 more years without giving assurance that even the 20 years you won't go back and do another haircut. I've heard rumors today in Parliament everywhere. They said the finance minister is going, and that's why I say bye-bye, not only to his government but to himself. And I've heard that in the coming days he will be resigning. I don't know how true it is, but it's rumor all over. I mean, you can find out if you walk around the finance. I heard it myself.
There are rumors that
the Minister of Finance is going to resign after presenting this budget. Well, so
who is saying this?
So it's their own people, the MPP, and
the NPP MPs,
MPs, and everywhere they are saying it to all of us. The finance, I'm sure you may have heard it. So haven't you heard it?
I haven't heard it.
Okay, then
they
go and find out.
you.
Go and find out, because I'm hearing that he's going to leave. If he's going to go, let me be blunt with you. He will still be remembered as the one who crashed the Ghanaian economy. Yes, he did not do it alone. If I may recap some of his record, his legacy. I'm sure he's going to go, so it's better we read his tribute. But
you are sure the finance minister is going to go?
I'm not the one saying it. It's the MPP MPs.
You just said that.
Haven't you heard it?
Go. I haven't heard that.
I'm surprised, and you've been in Parliament the whole day.
I haven't heard it.
Please,
so I
open your
wonder
ears.
who is saying this to you.
Okay, the MPs are saying it. But let me tell you, he will be remembered as the one who borrowed to benefit his businesses and his cronies. He is the same Minister of Finance who has brought our financial sector to its nails. He gave crude and painful haircut to even pensioners and destroyed homes and livelihoods. He's the same Minister of Finance who, within 1 year, has plunged about 25% of the Ghanaian population, representing about 8.5 million Ghanaians, into extreme poverty. And another person who helped him, the governor, the one who described us as hooligans.
In the coming days, this budget is going to be subjected to a lot of debate and also discussion. And there's a lot of detail in the footnote which we haven't seen. And for the Ghanaian people, the most important concern in here is how this is going to improve, especially on the conditions of living and reduce the cost of living for the Ghanaian people. Looking at the details of this budget, will that be fulfilled?
Touch wood. The NDC minority will do whatever it takes to protect the ordinary Ghanaian.